You understand what I'm saying? So like, to me, everybody has something, and you ain't got to be like a mega, but you can achieve more than mega if you focus on your craft and what you can bring to the table. You know what I mean?
But I feel like do you know what it is? I don't look at benchmarking, but what was profound is what you said, what you were reading at 16, right? Because in any situation, when a lot of us go off the rails is as soon as we get out of secondary school and then we can go to college. And then you just feel like, you know, like I'm a man now, you know, and the fact that you're reading things that isn't... All right, so I just look at, when you look at the man them in the end, we have a lot of hood theories like, oh yeah, like this man don't eat that chicken, bro. There can't be enough chicken in the world that we're eating this food, right? And you get a lot of like theories, and then you look at it, and then there's a certain level of understanding or knowledge that you actually have to go and search for. You have to go and find it. You have to look for it, and it doesn't come to you. It's not going to be on Instagram. No. You have to go and do. You have to go and search. You have to go and search for the knowledge.
In different times of my life, I've always taken time out to seek knowledge, to walk in around people and places which I feel my people are wary to walk around and listen to and study and stuff like that.
Does it ever get uncomfortable at all when you're learning new information that may not be readily available?
Yeah. New information beats you up, bro. It insults you. And you have to be beaten up. You have to be told that you're an idiot. When you're reading some of these motivational stuff and studying some real knowledge, you have to turn back and look at yourself and be like,
how did I miss that?
Where was my common sense this whole time? Like, you can have common sense in one area of things, but that common sense don't derive into other things.
Yeah.
Some people are found new knowledge, and they think that knowledge is going to benefit every living soul that they come across, whether it's the way they eat to what they're learning. And it's different. It's different. You can't do that. So with me, when I look on the studying of things, bruv, like, it's brought me to a space, where I don't want to be a fool for myself. Yeah. Now, I could have just said I don't want to be a fool for anybody, but I don't want to be a fool for myself, because me being a fool for everyone else is me being a fool for myself. Me not understanding the reason why people or situations are occurring. Me thinking that I can be in this room, but I can still walk out that door, walk through that wall, break down that wall without any cuts and bruises. There's repercussions. You can't be in a box. I tell people, all right, let's go down to decent level of common sense. We're in London City, bro. Yeah. London City was built for a certain purpose. It serves this purpose. Now, it's a box. Everybody in that box is known by name, date of birth, and number. Everybody in this box has certain jobs to do, certain levels to reach in this box, yeah? A lot of people get there and some people don't. Certain positions are only for the few. Correct. And for certain races.
Correct.
And certain positions are for many, yeah, and all races. You understand what I'm saying? Understand that, bro. Understand what you can and what you can't do. Understand what you can achieve and what you can't achieve within a certain period of time. Don't go through life just thinking, if I eat this way, I'm going to think the best. I'm going to think my best forever and ever. Amen. Don't think if I study this one religion, this is going to be all that I need. Don't sit down and think, oh, if I just do this one craft, I'm going to be rich, or if I just work for the whole of my life, I'm going to be financially stable and comfortable. Don't think like that. Don't think like that. Us as individuals were built to think more.
And to continually think.
And to continually think and continually evolve. So don't get ever lazy with the process, but don't think that Like how I thought back in Soul Solid days, man could get up to what man want, what, be annoyed. Look, the label's back in, man. This one's what? That's all we have to care about. No, we have to care about how the government felt. We had to indirectly care about the police stopping our situations instead of saying fuck the police to a certain degree. You know what I mean? There's a certain time where you say fuck the police. Where now shit's hit the fan. It's past it's past like reasoning now. Fuck the police. You get me? But if I really was fully on that knowledge path for that whole time, yeah, you would have seen a whole different process.
You'd have been able to navigate.
Yeah, I would have navigated it a lot different. But through the smoke or mirrors, you know, other people wanting a piece of the limelight, me being so welcoming, you know, hearing other people's issues and wanting to get into the business and stuff like that. It's my duty, man, to make sure that I continue to help someone progress from their story. You know what I mean? Move someone into a bigger bracket and help them to find a better self. I guarantee you, I'm one of these people where if I come across you, I don't want people to know it's me hanging with you, blood. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the loudest person in the room. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't want to be your friend's friends. You know what I mean? I might not want to meet your whole family.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? I might not want to meet your whole family because it will take time for me to get to know you. And through all the problems that's going on in this world in this present time, it might take me 3-4 years to get to know you.
Yeah.
So by the time we do meet family members, or I meet your friends, or I step into your circle, what we have is already concrete. Yeah. And that's with business, that's with friendship, and that's with family. You know what I mean?
Totally
like
really.
work on each other, because there's so much distractions. Back in the day, people never had an outlet in their house, at home. So they would watch TV to see admiration, or to see something sexual, or to see something motivational. They would have to watch TV. So when they left their house, yeah, there wasn't no TV. So the person down the road, you alright? You cool? Yeah, man, you cool, man. What's your name? Alright, big up. You get me? Or you see females or elders down the road and you say hello to your elders and you show respect to your elders. Today I'm walking down the road and kids are saying hello to the elders. No, the elders are saying hello to the kids, and the kids ain't even respecting the elders. I'm walking down the road and I'm saying hello to my elders, and my elders don't even know how to respond to me. Because it's been happened for such a period of time that they've been saying hello to the young kids, that now when a man that's walking down the road that actually respects your area and the elders and that, and you say hello, white, black, Asian guys, I just know you from my area, or you're just an elder to me, or I could be in a total different area, and me and someone just walking down the road and it's a sunny day, and I just say, how you doing, father? You good? You know what I mean?
But bro, you know how warm it is, like, bro, on my road, yeah, there's like an African woman, she always walks. When I say hello, auntie, she's like, hello, dear. Yeah. But I know it warms her spirit.
Yeah.
Because, bro, in theory, we should not acknowledge our elders.
Yeah. So this is the thing that we've lost. We've lost the sense of being comfortable to communicate with each other, either face to face or verbal sounds. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're hiding behind the type text type of world. You get me? But just those little things of respecting our communities, bro. Another thing I need to let the whole of the UK know. Ever so often, areas get cleaned out, areas get wiped out. Yeah, a new selection of people move in. Before majority of the black people was on Winstanley and Clapham Junction, it was predominantly white. It was their areas and their areas where they grew up in. Then whoever moved them out and moved us into those areas, we found loyalty with this area, and we're saying, this is my hood, this is mine. You understand what I'm saying? This is mine. And bruv, it's just rented space for a period of time. Even if you buy a flat or buy a house in that area, it's rented space for a period of time, because everything that is around you will change, and that community will no longer serve you. If you're Muslim and a whole bunch of, you know, Somalians and Africans come into the area, and, you know, you get all the Muslim shops on your road and all that stuff, fine. You get all the nice halal stuff on your, it's fine for you guys. You know what I mean? I don't eat meat, but fine for you guys if that happens. But then over a period of time, you start seeing them move a next set of people in. That could be Polish, you know, that could be Albanian. And over a period of time, you're going to start seeing Polish shops on your high street. And then it changes over a period of time. So even if you bought a premises, or you can't necessarily live in that area, because now the powers that be have predominantly pushed another section of people in there for the purpose of whether it's building, whether it's, you know, the building sector, whether it's the...
It's by design. This is the thing.
It's by design.
It's by design.
Right. So then we have a certain period of time, and a certain period of time to execute what we need. And I say that in the same thing in the music business. We have a certain period of time to execute what we need. There is some of us that love to do the stages all the time and year in, year out release albums. And they know when they want to stop doing it. You know what I mean? And everybody has their time. And I'm not against that. But at the same time, there's some of us that really want to be in another sector of the business and push more people to make careers for them. There's a lot of us that are happy with people achieving all they can. You understand what I'm saying? Like I've been in the clothing business for what?
Cheats and thieves.
Yeah, I've been in the clothing business for maybe 5 years. I'm young, bro, in the clothing business. I would say I'm a baby in the clothing business. My business partners, most of them, have been in the clothing business for 15 years. And everybody looks at, because Mega's black and Mega's a street youth, you might look on me and like, your clothing is doing that. You should be doing that too. You should be doing what that man's doing. Or you should be doing what Ben Jart's doing as well. And Ben Jart should be doing what you're doing. And this person should be doing what Trapstar's doing. And Trapstar should be doing what Lakey's doing. And it's like a whole mix, you know what I mean? But we're all serving different types of people in the world. We're all serving different types of you know, emotions, people that are into different type of styles, you know, that dress different, feel different, and even eat, and their cultures are different. We need to cover all bases. That is what that's me indirectly saying, from the smallest sector right to the biggest. From the club that holds 10 people right to the venue or outdoor venue that holds 100,000. We need to make sure we're covered all bases, to the smallest modeling agency to the biggest modeling agency. Cover all bases. Let's not just buy the cars. Let's make the cars. Cover all bases. We're making trainers. We're making clothing now. We're getting there. We're making apps. You know what I mean? There's some of us that are creating software for apps for these big companies. You understand what I'm saying? So we have that. We know, we have the know-how. So now let's continue to cover all bases. I said this to Krypton Conan when I was out in Ibiza like last year. Cover all bases. I'm just happy that you've got young black video directors that are £300 and you've got some that are 100,000 and a few mil. Cover all bases, bro. There's an experience and there's something that we need to do. And in the midst of covering all bases, the only thing that we need to get a grip of now is the financial side.
Yeah.
Us as young black youth in the music business need to get a grip of the financial side and actually turning that into a business in itself. Look at the models that have signed you. Look at the people who have paid checks to you, and create another version. Because whether we want to believe it or not, or whether we care or not, it does matter.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Whether we want to be the ones to help other people or you know, create another one extra or whatever it is, it does matter that we have a version of our own. Sony and BBC and Universal and all these big companies, they see things coming over a period of time. They plan 10, 20 years ahead. So we can't be planning yearly. So when they see things coming, they might just give certain people a budget, an unlimited budget, to go and set up other ventures that are willing to come in and swipe you, because it wasn't cool to be a part of a label. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look.
At one stage, like signing to a label, it wasn't cool. So labels are like, right, if we can only give a certain amount of percentage,
we're gonna have our own.
We're gonna have our own issues. So now you'll be surprised that labels are affiliated with distributors, but the distributors can offer more percentage.
Do you know what I was thinking? And it goes back to what you said about almost almost like a mental slavery, right? And like almost value. And what I've looked at is, I've realized that the truth of the matter is many people are asleep. And I remember 50 Cent one time he said, if someone's comfortable in the darkness, if you give them a candle, they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
They want to be asleep. But at the same token, with all the things that you said, like we will be on, you know, the page has made you think, get your mind right. When we see things like young 16-year-old Nigerian guy makes an app, sells it for like 400 million pounds, we're like, oh my gosh, bro, like for 5-10 years, I've been trying to say, I'm trying to find who's the youth. Not the guy who could do interviews. He wants to be there.
I'll tell you what it is. Like, we follow hype. When we go online, we look to be aroused, fun, like laugh, you know what I mean? Or find something that might help us. That might help us feel good or progress in some way, shape or form. That's about it. Those are the only real reasons why we feel we'll go on the internet for. So even when it comes to us being creative, how much of us are following tech companies? How much are following these geeks that are creating apps? Because maybe what they post day to day ain't that interesting. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you feel good about yourself every second of the day. You know what I mean? But let's look on what actually happened. Majority of us that thought it was cool to be street and cool to, you know, do all the hip stuff and have sex early and experience alcohol and all this early, all the geeks are at home. Going through tech books and studying codes and stuff until they became 21 something or 30 something. And then bam, now they own all the platforms that we pose on to get attention. To get the girl. Yeah. And if those platforms fall, like, you know what? That's why you got to rake some of these geeks, you know. Seriously, I don't want to be a geek. I don't want to feel like a geek. I don't mind hiring a geek, you know what I mean? I don't mean a geek as an idiot, but a geek as somebody that isn't as confident as, you know, street youth. You get me? But they could have the affiliation, but their mind is wired totally different. You get me? Where you think it's cool to have sex at the age of 15, they think, boy, I want to get married before I have my sexual partner.
There's a discipline. It's
a total different discipline. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a geek's world, man, and they're controlling everything. You see, the funniest thing is, like, hustlers don't want to do music. You see real hustlers, bro. Real hustlers don't want to do music. Do you think I could go to one of my business partners or my manager, no matter how much they would love to be a rapper or love to make a big hit, do you think I could sell them this sort of idea? Bro, got an idea, you know.
Let's hear it, Mega. What's the idea?
Listen, I've got this beat, blood. Spit on this beat this way. Yeah, bruv. And hear what? Man's just going to put it on YouTube, yeah? Put it on man's Instagram, blood, and it's going to blow. I'm just going to send it to Grime Daily and it's going to blow. How much money does it make again? Statistically, I forgive him the statistics. Yeah, well, 1 million streams is
like 5 bags.
5 bags, yeah? So man could get 20,000 streams per month, yeah? Right. Yeah, man, so... And then what else? What? Then you sell it. How much would a single sell for? $2.99, blood. You get me? So what, man? Get 100% of that? Nah, like iTunes might take a small percentage.
Actually, if it's iTunes, 79 or 59 people.
Yeah. If it's iTunes, 59 people. So they might take a small percentage in that. And blood, can we do this, blood? How long will it take to make a song? What, couple days? All right, cool. So how many songs do you reckon it will take for man to be a millionaire? Blood, the math's there, fam. Look, the numbers are there, blood. Look, man, just go check all the numbers, what you'll earn from Spotify and all of that. Check what you do for sales. And you really think I could sell my business partner that dream and that hustle? Bruv, you've got people like a business partner, I'd be like, bruv, Listen, mate. Listen.
Slow down, mate.
It's all good. Sounds fucking great, mate. But I love the music. But you mean I've got to fucking go into the studio, spit beats, put it on there for fucking $5,000 for every million streams? Are you fucking crazy? How long would it take me to get 1 million streams? I ain't fucking Stormzy or Adele. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how long do you think it's gonna take me to get 1 million streams? And that's the type of grilling that man get from people in our community, in London, that love music, but you couldn't sell them any dream of becoming a rapper and tell them what a rapper would have to do, or a singer has to do to make a song and jump on stage and be an artist. No. You know what they'll do, blood? They'll set up a company, get an investment of a couple £1 million, yeah? Hire you to perform, to launch whatever brand that they're launching. Bam, they're in the door. They're as big as the rapper. They're as popular and as seen as valuable as the rapper. The only difference is, yeah, their income is tenfold. Their income is coming in like a motherfucker, bro. And they don't even wake up out of their bed half the time. They set a system, you know what I mean, to work for them. And then they hired the rappers to come and launch it. They hired the entertainers to come and launch whatever idea it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now they've taken a couple pictures with these celebrities, and they're as popular as you, but they ain't doing half of the things you do. I couldn't even influence certain hustlers in the streets when I was starting the whole Soul Solid thing to even be a part of this.
Even with the money that could have come with it.
They couldn't even envision that. They was doing a lot less for a lot more. There's certain men in my area that were homeowners already, that were doing different things about computers. Forget fraud, computers, parts and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Megs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So like, I couldn't tell them the music industry was the way forward. They laughed, and then a bit down the line, they think, yeah, man, that's good though. The respect lasts long, and yeah, you lot are big, and I could say boom, boom, boom. But bruv, the majority of the UK, of serious people that know how to make money, yeah, you couldn't sell them a music career. You couldn't sell them an acting career. Try telling a young entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur, they think different. They think different than someone that wants to be a superstar or wants to be an artist or work or anything. You get me? Try telling an entrepreneur to go into studio once a month, yeah, to make 3 or 4 albums over a 5-year period, to at the end of it maybe get 500 grand.
Or better yet, ask them how many other entities are being paid before they get their money. Yeah. To even trying to break that down to the minimal, it would be hard to even make them understand it if they ain't been in the business for a period of time. But bruv, like, we couldn't. And I tell you one thing, the smartest people are the ones that are creating the companies to push the music out there, to get the music out there. The smartest people are the ones that are just taking time to put together other ventures and other businesses to make sure that they strive in the music industry. And to tell the truth, when I look at what everyone's doing, I'm learning, and I'm almost like content just looking around and seeing that I ain't got to look to America to, you know what I mean, to find beauty or to find constructiveness or to find mess or to find cleanliness. I don't need to look in other parts of the world now. It's right here. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just got to appreciate what everyone's doing. When it's all said and done, whether people know what they're doing, whether they want it or not, whether some people are entrepreneurs or whether they want to be rappers for the rest of their life, yeah, everyone has a purpose, man. And everyone's got their lane. And just continue what they're doing. It's a spin-off. It's a spin-off from what you just said. Like, again, it all goes back to the original belief what So Solid is. And, look, for me, the first thing I looked at is, why haven't we really set up our own booking agencies? It's quite simple.
It's easy to set up a booking agency, but a lot of artists don't like to let each other know what their pockets are earning and how regular they can actually earn. So the whole business is in fear of itself.
Which is what you keep.
You know
there is a fear amongst.
There is a fear amongst a lot of artists. Like, a lot of artists are scared of certain areas or people from certain areas being around their environment of happiness and joy or productiveness. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anyone cared back in the day who was around. But there's a fear. You can see that a lot of artists would take pictures or be around each other in shows and feature with each other, and you can see that they're not reaching out to a certain section of certain other artists, you know what I mean? And those artists have their own pockets too, and you can see that, that it's out of somewhat wariness, you know what I mean, for the sections that they're not really fucking with. It's wariness, and yeah, I think the industry's a little bit soft in that area. I think we need to just toughen up in that area, you know, because it's scaring the industry more than what we think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing of what the industry done to black artists before even running up in these offices. Oh no, we don't run it. And then now most rappers or representatives are up in these offices or up around these buildings, and they're not giving a good word to people from their own race. They're not giving a good word to people from. If I didn't give a good word to a lot of people, and I made the labels feel at that time that don't ever make them be blood. Some artists wouldn't have been signed at that time. They would have been signed further down the line, maybe with things, but they wouldn't have been signed at that time. You know what I mean? Because we were very important. We were very important to the music industry.
Very powerful.
You get me? Very important. Like, there was East West Records, Warner, and there was us at the Sony section with first with Ministry of Sound, but then the Sony section through Independiente. So those two labels were the only ones that were actually creaming majority of the success at that time. So when you're sitting with two labels and they feel that something can come in and disrupt their investment,
mess up the money. They never want the money to be messed up.
They don't want it to be messed up. You know what I mean? But we didn't do that. But yeah, the majority of these people, I feel that there has been some of that. There has been some of that indirect. Boy, we don't feel comfortable. So if that person's involved, I'm not involved. You know what I mean?
I've seen. I know of situations where it's like, I won't do your festival if this person's performing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
legit.
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's exactly what they do, brother. And it's just baby food, because to be honest, if there's someone that I don't like or I have an issue with and they're coming to a festival, it's the duty to let both parties know, I've got an issue with him, but he can perform here. He can perform here if he wants. Just cook. You keep him at that side. As long as we don't cross each other's paths, we're cool. American festivals do this all the time. It's normal. Rarely someone catches up with each other. That's because they step out of the boundary and want to go against what the advice of the festival told them to do. We've booked you. We know you have problems with another artist. Your set time is way before theirs.
And you'll leave before.
You come and you go. Do your own thing. You understand what I'm saying? But some people want to test their temperament. But bruv, that's how we should do it over here. That's why I'm saying, like, if
you're talking about the feminism. That title's quite controversial to people.
No, but it can't be controversial. Alright, then it is, but it can't be, because a lot of I have to stop saying you know, I hate it. But you know when you watch people on TV,
everyone has a filling word, bro.
And they always say that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like to say, oh, you know what? Do I actually say that? And then I end up saying it. But see, there you go. So what happens is that a lot of youngsters are growing up with mothers or parents, not even just mothers, because it could be fathers too, that don't actually give them the oomph, give them the chi, give them a substance to step out into the real world and understand themselves and know what they can and can't be and who they really are. And those mothers don't have a voice in their communities either. Those fathers don't have a voice. Certain families don't have a voice in certain communities. So when certain things happen with their children, they ain't got a clue. They don't know how to notice it. They don't know how to address it. Yeah? It's just straight fear, straight scaredness. You understand what I'm saying? And that scaredness runs through these youths because majority of these youths...
It's a bit like trauma.
Yeah, it's trauma. Like, we sell trauma to ourselves. That's all we're doing every day. But when you see majority of these youths, even like my son to a certain degree, I said to my son, boy, you want to start going gym, rude boy. You get me? Because in any such situation, you want to be able to ready. You want to be able to be ready to fist fight someone. Whether you're slim or do you know how to fight? And that was the thing when we was growing up. We had to know how to brawl.
Junction was militant.
Junction was, it's still militant. I don't even think Junction have beef with anybody. It's just small little, silly little shit that happens where people want to pick at certain individuals, you know what I mean? That they know weren't ready for a certain environment at a certain time. You get me? And now you've just made yourself even more wary of dealing with us. You get me? Or dealing with these young youths that where you call the Wandsworth Borough or Clapham Junction. You get me? And that's most of the reason why you don't see a lot of Junction youths around environments. You understand what I'm saying? Because some of them have done badness, but some of them have been... I think we just have a reputation of lack of trust. You get me? When it comes to the young ones. And especially if shit hits the fan. Yeah, it could be a bit funny in the moment of an environment, you know what I mean? So, but like I say, like, a lot of people have grown up with fear and that a weakness. The way how they've been taught to eat, the way how they've been taught to think. You get me? How their parents have grown them on a daily basis. Majority of these youths, even when I was leaving secondary school, they looked like midgets. They were getting smaller and smaller and littler. You know, they were getting skinny and skinnier, and you know what I mean? Like, bruv, in my school days, I was already a waist 34 in secondary school. These youths are 20s and 28s, and you might even say they're the size of a gal. You get me? A 6 and an 8 waist and them thing there, but yeah, it's just the feminine thing, bro, and that then draws them to every day they leave their house, I need a weapon.
Got it.
Every day they leave my house, I don't want to punch. I don't feel like punching today. Yeah? Just like what I used to say to my soul man back in the day, like, that guy's not bad 24/7, bro. He's weak today, man. Yeah. You could beat him up today if you want. Yeah, don't have it, bro. You understand what I'm saying? He's not on his... You understand what I'm saying? So, the same thing for these youths, man. Like, they leave the house and they physically... the things that they're consuming doesn't make them feel strong enough. Doesn't make them feel like they have something to even stand up to. You know what I mean? And so they leave and they have knives. What happens when you have a weapon on you? Hammer, weapon, whatever, any confrontation that you feel you can't handle, or even if you can handle it, your mind is going to say, shit, I have something. It's easier for me to use that. And that's what happens with majority of these youths. But yeah, I just feel over a period of time, there'll be a new generation of youth that come up, and they'll be stronger, and they'll be a little bit more, have more substance, and the cycle changes over and over again.
Do you know what it is? Like, I remember that guy in school, and every man had to hold someone got rushed.
Yeah,
like, you just knew that when you elbows, like, you get me? Like,
I think at one stage all of us had a beating in school or kick, or when it was like, I think what did we used to do? I think it was when fifth years leaving school, the whole school hunt them down. Because we know they're not coming back to the school.
You give it to them.
Enough man get rushed, yeah? I got kicked out of school when I was 15. I didn't finish school. No GCSE, so I'm pleased for what I done in my time.
You're
you know
Marvel,
what I mean?
bro.
And I've got a lot more to do. I don't just want to do stuff in music, but yeah, in those times when we was in school, yeah, I think it was there was everyone held a beating. I was one of those youths in school where if you troubled the idiots and that, I didn't like it, because there's some people that like to trouble people just because they feel they can. And they still do it up to this day. And I've never liked it. I've always been a person that rooted for the underdog. So when you see So Solid Crew, you don't see bad boys. You don't see a crew of bad boys. I don't care what the industry thought. You don't see a crew of bad boys. If you really wanted to see a crew of bad boys, bruv, you're very lucky. You're very lucky, because I already had Chaos on the verge of becoming one of the maddest artists. He didn't want music in it, but he's one of the wickedest man them out here, which most people know. I've never, like, these are man's dogs that man grew up with in man's ends. There's people out here that are still afraid of these youths, just over the phone. You understand what I'm saying? Man like Gappy Dean, he's out now, he's around, you know, Dylan White. Yeah, you know Dean White, that's Junction. Yeah, that's Junction. Okay. Yeah, he was in jail when we was doing the whole So Solid thing. So when I was on the Brit Awards stage and I said, hang tight Gappy Dean, when you land road, you know it's all cool. That's me shouting out him. When he was in jail the whole time he was doing the So Solid thing. You understand what I'm saying?
And he brolic, bro. Like, when you see him,
That's his brother Darren. You know what I mean? He's cool, but he's more a laid back guy. He don't want the superstardom and all of that sort of stuff. But he's a community man. He wants everyone to have all days and take care of the kids and families, and whatever area in South London he goes to, he can set up anything in any area.
You good?
Yeah, and just run his thing and make everybody feel good and yam some soul food and that. That's his brother. But there was just there was a core of us: me, Chaos, Face, which is Ghost, Mac, which is Maniac. There's just a core of us that were just ridden a certain way. You get me? And that could have been So Solid. So Solid could have been Junction Boys, not Asher D, not you know, Simp or Singers or Lisa Ma. It could have been Junction Boys, and it would have been a whole different ball game, because I guarantee you, I still would have helped them to make some hits. Look, all the main producers that created the whole So Solid sound is from Clapham Junction. All of them, from Dan the Man that made couple songs, Seth Shabs that produced couple songs, me that produced songs, AC Burrell that produced songs, Synth that produced songs. We all lived in Battersea. You get me? That So Solid sound is a Clapham Junction sound. You get me? So if So Solid put the whole UK on the map, Junction Boys, Battersea Boys done the whole thing for the streets. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, why wouldn't you want to show love to Battersea Boys? Why wouldn't you want to show love to this area? You know what I mean? Or people from this area, you know what I mean? That actually helped this industry helped the whole hood in the whole of the UK, that there's money in this industry and we don't have to just have a 9-to-5 job or be statistically what our teachers thought we would be.
Come on, facts.
You understand what I'm saying? And Battersea Boys done that. You understand what I'm saying? So if anyone's gonna give anybody appreciation, or just look at the young ones that are coming through and give them that same appreciation. And I guarantee you, if you allow any one of these young ones to come through, whether it's Clue's not young anymore, but you know what I mean, he's young still, whether it's the Clues, whether it's the Burners, whether it's the Wreckers, whether it's the Reets, whether it's the Scores, Smirks, any one of these rappers, Target, any one of them coming up from our ends. You've got the ones from Roehampton sides, because that's our borough, Wandsworth borough. You know what I mean? All of the SN1 youths, and I mean not the SN1 youths, the Say No Mores and the NBAs, and you understand what I'm saying? And then when you go into other areas, you've got other sects, you've got other sectors, you've got other crews, you've got other, and everyone is meant to be bringing the next crew that comes through for their other ends. You know what I mean? Majority of the people, the only ends that I see that looks like they're bringing different people up and helping each other from their own ends is the Croydon Boys, Fulton Heath Boys.
Yeah.
That's the only area that I see that there's a different number of kids coming up in those ends, and they're all helping each other and staying within a circle of each other to help push music. And that could spur from Croydon, Fulton Heath, right up to the edge of Streatham. And all those guys have a nice little friendship around their circles, and whoever's coming up next, they help push. You know what I mean? They might turn up to dinners with each other and stuff like that. It's beautiful to see stuff like that. That should happen across board, and it shouldn't happen for the obvious reasons. Because sometimes people end up doing stuff for the obvious reason. It should happen for the most sincere reason, like, raw, you know what? Gangsters know how to draw meetings with their enemies as well as their affiliates.
That's true.
You get me? And people who they dislike in the room, they was able to turn their minds just by using the right words and using the right vocabulary. And that's most probably what I had to do when I first came into this music game, because the streets were 10 times as more dangerous than it is now.
There weren't no cameras like there is now.
10
no
times,
like that.
10 times more. Police didn't even have the technology in their cars. And we're only talking about a little while back. You get me? So it was 10 times as dangerous as it was now. People were getting killed in raves, and we would stand up in the raves and stay in the raves. You get me? Until the end. And then come out and there will be silliness outside the events. So with what we was doing at that time is the same thing. I looked at these bad boys and I was like, bruv, you ain't even got to be a bad boy with me, G. What are you looking for? What do you want? What, you think you can't have the life? This is how easy it is, G. Come here, man. You know what I mean? Not out of fear, but out of, I know what you want. I can see what you want, man. But you ain't got to be vexed with me for that. I'll show you how to get yours. And the majority of these youths that came across with me was like that. You know what I mean? I'll show you how to get yours. Chaos, you wanna do this? I'll show you how to get it. You get me? Within a hot second, Chaos weren't even doing music, but he had a yard, he had TTs, all of that. You get me? When people were scared to be around certain people and that, I was the only one that had no fear for nothing. You know what I mean? And stood by my people, and man, rid true, and we're all still breathing. I never had to RIP my brethrens in the time of doing gang shit. You understand what I'm saying? Or doing street shit. I'd never had to. And even through the Soul Solid time, I didn't have to. You understand what I'm saying? Now I'm at this level of my life where newborn son, you know what I mean? The woman I'm around, her mind's right. You get me? Business is right. What more do I want? This is what we've all been working towards. You know what I mean? Trying to have a steady mind and eventually get out of the game. You might be affiliated with it to a certain degree, but get out of the game, but know how to move still.
It's like Carlito's Way in a way, when it's like he's looking for that part to get out and just get caught back in. But what I was going to double back on is like, this is almost like the evolution of Mega.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, when people, and we can look back in years before and we can say, look, as a youth, you had it hard, and you know, if you don't mind me bringing up, when you were in court, when you was on remand, early on, like those types of things can just set people down a path where they're not gonna.
It's mad because I felt I had more to fight for. Growing up in Clapham Junction, I didn't have cousins my age or older than me that would help me defend my battles or anything when I was growing up. So I had more to fight for. You get me? I wasn't the person who had the most money, and I wasn't the most popular or rated person out of the circle of our little Battersea Junction Boys at the time growing up. You get me? I wasn't the girl's favourite. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't the girl's favourite growing up, so if I'm not in Soul Solid, it doesn't matter, Romeo, halves. But yeah, so just those times I just had to fight harder, you know, and then looking at my brother and my cousins and being like, when you lot are ready to do this, man, trust me, I'm here. You get me? I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be that person that doesn't allow my family to not be somebody in this area. You know what I mean? Those times when we was growing up, there was a handful of houses that their doors never closed, and our house was one of them. The front door never locked, open 24/7. Brethren could walk in the house, friends could walk in the house, all of that. And got to a stage where we left it open, and I think a cat walked in the corridor and stole the plaques off the wall,
Serious.
thinking that they were platinum and gold and silver.
Crazy.
My cousin Keish put some of his plaques straight in the corridor. And yeah,
Bro, it's
a kitty stole them, thought they were real gold. They've been in this game for 10 years, yeah, to make how much meal?
maybe a clean meal.
A clean meal, one clean meal, you know what I mean? So therefore we need more. We need more people in those positions accumulating those stuff. Those guys ain't done anything wrong. It's been times. It's just a time of error that these people are coming out at. But once we understand that, then everybody else has more than a job to do.